Before we jump into today's game, where it's actually a trade. So what happened with Isaiah and his teammates? Well, he didn't actually lose anybody, but we did lose some draft picks. So the 49ers got Kenny Galladay at receiver, who honestly will be a blessing because our receiver core is, well, pretty lackluster, to be honest with you guys. So what do we give up to get Kenny? Well, basically we gave up a 2022 second round pick, which is next season. We also gave up a 2022 seventh round pick, which again is next season. But this year, gave up a 5th round pick. So the 7th round pick I don't really care about. 5th round pick, I'm like, the 2nd round pick is a lot to give up, but if this guy puts up big numbers, then it'll all be worth it. Now to check this guy's stats, basically he's 26 years of age, he's an 80 overall, which already makes him tied for the best receiver on the team. He's got a decent speed at 90 with 90 acceleration. His catch is an 87, which is tied for the highest in the team. His catch in traffic is an 86, and his spectacular catch is an 87, which is the highest on the roster. So I got a good feeling about Kenny Galladay, but let's see what he can actually do on the field. Enough about the on the paper stuff. I want to see if he can actually perform. Coming in week number 3, the 49ers are 1-1 on the season, which I would hope to see them improve to 2-1, but they have a lot of work cut out for them. A new receiver, they give up a lot of draft picks. There's a lot of talk about, well, is that the only trade San Fran will make this season? But right now they got to focus on what's happening on the field. And that team that we're facing this week, the Miami Dolphins, a team that's hungry. They're trying to get their first win of the season. They are 0-2 on the year. So let's go out here, have a big game by Isaiah. Let's see Blake Beatles ball out. Let's see our new wide receiver show out today too, and get this defense to step it up, and we can walk out of here being 2-1. Now, if you watched the previous episode, you probably noticed that Isaiah was not happy at all. I mean, they benched this dude in one of the biggest moments of the entire game, and if you're a veteran running back who's coming off multiple MVP performances, you can't be happy about that. But part of being a veteran and the leader of your team is looking past situations like that, telling that the coaching staff isn't the only thing that matters. But Blake Beatles, that's an 11-yard loss right there, making it 3rd and 21. That does matter. And we got 3rd and 21, and good God, we need all the yards in the world. And Blake Beatles decides to throw a check down pass. So we get back to the 21, making it 4th and 9, but that was kind of a weird decision. Now, even though we were kind of trash in that first drive, Miami goes down and gets a touchdown of their own, and they do it pretty quickly. So we go out here to run it again, and oh yeah, Miami, they're going to stop Isaiah pretty quickly. So here on 2nd and 11, we're going to opt to go to the passing game because it's pretty obvious that the rushing game is not working. Now, Blake Beatles is taking off running, and he's going to get maybe a yard or so there, but this offense is looking horrible so far. Now, an interesting thing too is that even though Kenny Galladay is our 2nd best receiver, or tied for basically being our best, he's not on the field yet and hasn't played a single down. So we're gonna hope he can actually do something today. Now, Beatles is out here throwing on the run. That one is close, and Richardson hauls that one in. A big 17-yard grab that ends up getting us the first down that we desperately needed. The passing game's looking pretty solid, except for the time that Blake Beatles got sacked and made some bad decisions in the backfield. But look at the running game. The running game's got some room, and Isaiah is going to the house. His 3rd rushing attempt of the game. The young fella gets in there. You already know the deal. Isaiah says he's getting 30 rushing touchdowns this season, and he got one there. He needs a couple more each game, but I think this dude could actually get 30, which would be the craziest record of all time. But a big-time player making a big-time play, and we've tied it up at 7-all. Now, Blake Beatles was throwing a couple of dots in that last drive, so we're going to see if he can get right back to it. But before we do that, we're going to let Isaiah run a smidgen. Isaiah, okay, you broke a couple of tackles. That was a tough 2 yards, but even after that big run last drive, you have 10 yards per carry so far. Now we got 2nd and 8 with Beatles back in shotgun. Isaiah moves out to the right, and there's literally no one on him. So the young fella gets out there, goes for the juke, and okay, they wrap him up. Good tackling there by Tarpley. The chains are moving right now for San Fran, and that is what they want to see. Now Isaiah goes back out and had a hole if he cut it back up to the left-hand side, but he still gets a modest amount of yards. In shotgun, Isaiah's going to stay back and try to throw a couple of blocks for Beatles. He accidentally makes Beatles fall, and okay, Isaiah, not your best moment there, knocking your quarterback down and making him get a sack. So after Isaiah kind of messes up his young quarterback, coach says, look, you got to come out for a couple of plays. It's a little bit of a penalty now. Isaiah's back here looking to throw some blocks. He's being a little bit more cautious now. Beatles, speaking of being cautious, dumps it off to Kittles, and it's a completion, but it doesn't really do much for our offense. We're staying in shotgun, but it looks like a halfback draw is coming for San Fran, and Isaiah sees a gap, but it closes pretty quickly as they wrap him up after 3. There's an injury on the play. Doesn't look to be Isaiah. I don't think it's anybody on our team, so I think we'll be fine. So with 3rd down and 4 yards to go, well, they're going to end up taking Isaiah out and say, Blake Beatles, this is your show right now. So Beatles all the time in the world throws that dot out here to the edge, and Mr. Richardson's going to grab that one in, but why haven't we seen Kenny Galladay? I mean, Beatles doesn't seem to mind, but we need to get the young fella in here. Now, we did look into Kenny Galladay, and it seems that he actually broke his thumb in practice this week, so he's listed as to be determined. We don't know when he'll be back, but as of today's game, we probably won't see him in there. Second and 5, we're nearly in the red zone, about a minute left here in the first half. Isaiah's open again, he's going to catch the ball. He's got one guy in front, he tries to truck him and they wrap him up. Look, the Dolphins have done a good job today. Even though we've completed every single pass we've thrown, they're wrapping up every single player on our squad. Looking for the halfback dive up the middle. Instead we go to a halfback draw. Isaiah's up the middle and he's going to get down inside the 2. So now look at this, 7 rushes, almost 60 yards, 1 touchdown in the day, and the young fella, he's feeling another one very soon. So here comes San Fran. Look, they're wasting all the time in the world. Look, they have 3 timeouts left. There's about 25 seconds. They do not need to call a timeout here. So they're trying to score and get the advantage. Now Isaiah cuts up the middle and that could be the easiest touchdown he has ever scored in his young career. I mean, this dude got into the end zone super easy. That should be touchdown number 4 or 5 on the year, number 2 of the actual game, and the young fella is feeling it so far. So going into halftime, it is a 14-7 lead. Isaiah has been money. Blake Beatles has completed pretty much every pass he's thrown, and we're carrying a nice little lead going into halftime. So started the second half, we got Beatles under center, Isaiah ready to throw some pass protection, and Beatles continues, dinking and dunking his way down the field. Look, he's 9 for 9, so we can't be too mad, but test the water, throw it deep one every once in a while, young fella. On 2nd and 5, Isaiah again for the second straight play is going to stay in the pass, protect this ball, so a little bit deeper, and Cooper Kupp is going to bring that one down. Look, I'm telling you, once Kenny Golladay is healthy, I think with Cooper Kupp and Quincy Enunwa, this receiver core is actually not that bad. A new set of downs again as Blake Beatles this time hands it off to Isaiah instead of holding on to it, and well, Isaiah finds a couple of yards, but not a ton of success there. So on 2nd and 8, Isaiah is going to come out again. He's been out a couple of plays, but at least there's not a halfback in there as well, but Blake Beatles, not the best decision as Kiko Alonso brings him down to make it 3rd and 15. So 3rd and 15, Isaiah is back in the game, but it's merely just a block on this drive. And he hasn't really done too much offensively. And this ball's thrown deep, and it's a bad pass, and it is nearly intercepted. Blake Beatles' first incompletion of the day was by far his worst pass of the afternoon. So the score in today's game is still chilling at 14-7. There's about 3 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter, and the Dolphins, you guessed it, are punting again. Their offense looked good in their first drive, but since then, they've been high-key trash. Now Isaiah's out here looking to do something. He makes a decent move, a half-spin move, and they bring him down to the ground pretty easily after 13 yards. 7-point lead, but we got to make sure we extend it. Now Isaiah goes to run it again, and the Dolphins have figured him out right now. He wins, he was averaging 10 yards per carry earlier. Now he's down to 6, and they tackle him in the backfield there. So trying to mix it up a little bit, 49ers say, what, let's go to a halfback screen. We did one earlier. It worked out pretty well. What can they do here? Now Isaiah drops 2 defenders there and gets the first down. Kiko Alonso, you might have tackled him on the previous play, but that time you got your ankles broken. Going back to the run, you're going to see Beatles hand it off to Isaiah. Isaiah's trying to find some lanes, trying to find some holes in this defense, and he drags a couple of defenders, but 4 yards isn't really what he wanted to see there. And even though Isaiah's had some tough runs today, he's still getting a couple of yards each time, so you got to keep giving him the ball until they stop him, and, well, they stopped him right there. So on 3rd down, I got a feeling we're going to pass. So on a big 3rd down, we got to make sure we can get something positive here, and Isaiah's wide open, but instead the pass goes to the left. It's a fumble by Cooper Kupp, however. I believe Paul Richardson got it, but that's going to be short of a 1st down, making it 4th and inches at the midfield marker. Even though our offense hasn't really been all that great here in the second half, we've done okay because our defense has been an absolute monster. Now, I'm a deep punt out here to Isaiah. He's got some room. Isaiah's trying to run around a little bit, and yeah, the Dolphins, they've seen the tape. They know what he's doing. He's getting into his 4th year now. They know what to expect from the young fella. But look, started 8:59 and 2 yards. Since then, 4 for 6. We need him to do better ASAP. This is a desperate drive for a touchdown because our defense has, held their end up in the bargain, but we can't expect them to do that too much longer. We need a little bit more of a cushion. 2nd and short, you're going to see Isaiah swing out to the left-hand side. Again, he's wide open, but the ball goes across the middle. This time, a couple of moves are made, and we go from the 18 to the 25, giving us the 1st down. Isaiah King Jr. is looking for a big run, and he needs one ASAP. Now, he's got an opportunity for a big hole here. He's going to try to get the 1st down. He does. Look, there's the carry that he needed. 14 attempts, 82 yards, and still sitting at 2 touchdowns. Much better, though, in the second half than had he had started. 2nd and 11 with Beatles under center, Isaiah in the backfield in a single back set. We go again, you guessed it, across the middle, and it's AJ Delmaso catching a big one. Still only 1 incompletion for Blake Beatles. So with 3rd down and 4, you guessed it, we're going to go to a halfback screen, and we're just hoping that it works this time. Now, the ball's thrown out to Isaiah. He catches it, but he's going to lose 4 yards in that one. Blake Beatles, I think we could have maybe thrown it somewhere different. Now, things just got pretty interesting because the Dolphins scored to make it 14-14. It's a tie ball game. Isaiah's back here in kick return protection. He's going to throw 1 block there, and, well, his guy didn't really see where the opening was. 2 minutes left. Tie ball game. Isaiah needs to put the team on his back and ASAP. Now, a good little run to start is only getting about 4, but the 2-minute warning is coming up, and now I think we got to go back to the passing game. Cooper Kupp on the left-hand side. He's going to go in on a slant. Isaiah's going to break out to the left. This ball goes to Enunwa, and Enunwa is going to get the 1st down for us. A new set of downs again. Isaiah's going to move to the right-hand side. He's wide open. The ball's going to come to him. He's going to try to get the 1st down. I think he pretty much just about got it. 10 yards there, but they say it's going to be 2nd and inches. Still a good grab by him. 2nd and inches, Miami's probably expecting a run, but they see a pass instead. This ball goes across the middle, and Blake Beatles just completely misses a wide open guy who probably had 20 more yards in front of him. So here we go, 3rd and inches. Most people would say that we should, you know, probably run it, but instead we go to the pass here. The pass goes from the 49 to pretty much nowhere as it's bobbled and it's dropped, making it 4th and inches. Now, on the last drive, we had 4th and inches, and Isaiah begged coach to actually go for it, but coach said, no, we're not going to do that. So Isaiah's back out here as a wide receiver. He's running around. Blake Beatles has him open, but he throws a pick. Blake Beatles has thrown a pick. Tarpley's going to pick that one off. Tarpley makes a move. Isaiah goes in for the tackle. He can't get him. Multiple defenders try to bring this dude down, but he gets down into the 30, which is field goal position for Miami. Now, in regulation, Miami actually shanks the field goal. They go into overtime, get a drive of their own, and they get the field goal to go into overtime. So Isaiah says, look, now here in overtime, the young fella's going out here. All he needs is a touchdown, and the young fella's going to go down here and get the touchdown. Ladies and gentlemen, the walk-off touchdown as he celebrates into the end zone. A little bit of a salsa dance for his fans there, and Isaiah goes 75 yards to the house. Look, 2 rushing touchdowns, a couple of receiving touchdowns. The dude put on a show today, and it's enough to make the Miami Dolphins walk out of here with the loss. They get their 2nd win of the season, and San Fran's looking pretty good. Even though their defense was stellar today, the offense had some bad moments, but they got the W when they needed it. So to recap the stats, Blake Beatles goes 18 of 23 for over 250, 1 touchdown, and 1 really bad interception. Ryan Tannehill didn't have the best day at the office, though. On the rushing side, Jay Ajayi went 33 attempts for 155 yards and 2 touchdowns. Isaiah had a good game of his own, but didn't go over 100 yards, got outrushed by Jay Ajayi, but still had 2 rushing touchdowns. On the receiving side of things, Jarvis Landry goes 8 for 96, and Isaiah goes 7 for 124. Before that big 75-yard walk-off touchdown, he was pretty pedestrian in the receiving game, but still, that was the biggest play of the game. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more, make sure you guys crush the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Check the playlist on the screen right now to watch another one, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.